that sufficient for you?
Yes, thank you.
Right, sorry, would you like to state your name?
Yes, my name's Diane Lamb and I run Branching Out in Fireless. It's a community that's got together women who just want to make friends who are lonely. And one of the things that we're stepping up, or hoping to branch out at the end of, well, the start of the summer holidays, is to stop food waste. And at the same time, open up a fridge, community fridge for people in Fireless who want to access waste food that it's still edible and viable for people to eat. And that's it really. We're hoping to set it up in the start of the summer holidays when families have got to provide an extra meal. It's not a charity, we're not asking for money, it's food that's wasted. We've got Tesco on board and it's going to be in the community room at the co-op, the back room there.
Okay, that's good. Well, thank you very much for sharing your information with us. And Councillor Cocker, would you like to say something?
Yeah, raising this on behalf of the residents, they did raise it. Now we've got the enhanced train service, it's causing more problems with the level crossing being closed longer, and vehicles are parked close. Sorry,
what's this got to do with the fridge?
I thought you moved on from that.
No, these questions about the community fridge, sorry. Does anybody else have any questions about the community fridge to ask this lady? Yes, Councillor Mann.
Can I just ask, is there a criteria if people actually do want to access this?
No, it's open to anybody and everybody. We've got volunteers lined up who are doing a food and hygiene course on next Thursday, and they've got to be qualified. There is a criteria that we have to abide to. Malton has set up their community fridge, and at the end of this month, Hummonby are actually setting up their community fridge as well, and would like to share food that, if they've got food left over, bring it over to us and vice versa, so that the whole community can.
Yeah, sounds like a brilliant scheme, and I hope wish you every success with it.
Thank you.
The other councillors have anything to this lady? Are you all happy with the information? I think it's the fact line which this lady is bringing this information, is that correct? Would you like to come back?
It was just back to that lady. Salvation Army, I know, do get left over from Tesco, so they kind of like do that as well.
They've actually stopped.
Are they?
Yeah, Tesco were asking for people, because they're the only people that they give to now is private childcare. So that's why they've asked. They said there's a lot of food waste, and it'll now come over to our community fridge.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you, dear.
Any other members of the public that would like to speak? After 15 minutes and then talking. No? Okay. Thank you all members of the public that have spoken, and be assured that we will get the information back to you back tonight.
Yes, the other thing is, I don't see why farming is controlled by Sky. And if you want to say you are, because I'm putting up for the next election, don't vote for me.
Right, thank you very much for your input, sir. Right, on to number 4, report from Pally Community.
I was raising a matter.
Sorry, I didn't see your hand there. Sorry, Councillor Cox.
I started, but you because we know about something else. Yeah, with the enhanced train service, there's more instances now of the level crossings being closed and causing tailbacks both at Muston Road and down Station Road. And the point that's being made to me is that the school kids are walking up there while the engines are running, and it's called, it could be causing health issues. I'm told that Malton Town Council have taken an initiative, and I'm just passing on, could we have a word with Malton and find out what their initiative is to try and reduce it?
This was going to come under Councillor Squire, because a local lady, I'm sure the same lady that's spoken to you, and has spoken to Sue Busmus and myself about this, so it was part of the conversation that I had to do about this. We'll do it under your, just under my way. Thank you, Councillor Foxwell. Right. So we have a report from the Pally Community Trust, and unfortunately the gentleman isn't here to give his report, so we will move straight on to number 5. He's not been given a reason why he's not here before.
No, he did state he would be here, but
so there's no update there. And unfortunately the police aren't here either to give their update. We've all had a hard copy to read, so if there is any questions, we'll have to actually send them to the police themselves, because we can't speak on their behalf. So So that's going to be very quick, that one too, isn't it? So now, Scarborough Borough County Councillors. Council to receive reports from the Scarborough Borough Councillors for Fally Town Council area. I'm sure you've all had a chance to read. Unfortunately, Councillor Casey isn't here, so if you have any questions on his report, can you send them direct or through our clerk? And also for Councillor Cockrell's report, has anybody got any questions they'd like to ask him on his report? I'm sure you've all read them.
Councillor Cockrell.
Yes, because Councillor Casey's not here. Yes, thank you, Councillor Shackleton.
Actually, I think he's answered the question to Gordon, but I've noticed that Whitby's flood defence have started.
They haven't actually started, but the contract's been let.
It's reported on the Scarborough website that it's started tonight.
Yeah, but not possibly on site.
Right.
That was a lot easier. I think there was only 2 landowners involved.
But has it been going on as long as the pilot of the irrigation scheme?
No.
And that's my point there.
Yeah.
Councillor Robinson.
Yes, the futurist site.
Hmm?
There has been a change, I'm sure you know, Mike, that the residents of the whole of the borough will be offered a discount
Yeah.
for the big wheels dinner, where it was initially only YO11.
It was, and I wrote to the leader at that time, and very quickly it got changed, and now the whole of the borough can have a huge discount of 50p.
Councillor Mills.
I'd just say I don't know why this wasn't pursued in the first instance without it having to be raised. Apparently it was an offer made by the operator. Why the officers didn't say what about the rest of the borough, I don't know.
Councillor Mills.
Yes, through you, Chair. I just wondered about the EBOR Fitness Suite with the, you mentioned about the £328,000 that's been allocated by Scarborough. Is there a plan if it doesn't work with EBOR, will we just lose that money, will it disappear?
Unless anybody comes forward with an alternative, yes, that money will be lost. Certainly there's a deadline of July next year, but if it isn't firmly committed, it goes back into the borough melting pot. And this is why I've been raising the issue for a number of months, to get the scope agreement provided so that it could include other sports and activities in Filey.
I can just add to that as well, Councillor Mills, that we are in correspondence with Scarborough Council to get an arrangement to meet between the councils to finalise what's happening with EBOR so that we know where we can go ahead with the money. So we are in hand. Thank you very much for your question.
I think that's an agenda item for later on.
Yes. Anybody else got any questions for Councillor Cockrell? Councillor Wilkie.
Just about the RNLI house, is that something we just wait for a response back from them, or is
Yes, the people were there last week doing a topographical survey. That will go to RNLI headquarters. I do know that there's going to be a Cobble Landing users meeting called where the different options that are being talked about will be discussed. You know, one is coming out at the front of the Lightfoot House 2 metres, which is more or less in line with that balcony, or going back into the cliff, or going down to the gift shop.
Who decides on that? Is that the RNLI?
Well, the RNLI will put forward their preferred option, which at the moment I understand is to go out to the front. But then it has to go to Scarborough Borough Council Planning, and also obviously the Town Council as a consultee. It will also have to go to the Harbour Master, and also to, because if they're coming out, it's obviously encroaching onto Borough Council land, so it will have to go to the relevant portfolio holder.
Is that alright? Anybody else got any questions? Councillor Gage.
Sorry.
Would you like to speak?
Yes, please. Through you. Right. Sorry.
That's quite
I think it's needed that's involved. I've done a little bit of reading about it, and it's only what's in the press, so I don't know how accurate it is, but of 140 respondents, 72 were SBC owned businesses, the Wrentham SBC businesses, and therefore we got the you know, an adequate number of votes to say that they wanted to go through with this EDIS thing. It just seems, let's think of the word in here, it just seems wrong that more than 50% of the votes were cast by FPCs themselves, who are the ones that are going to benefit by getting this extra money. Is there anything that can be done about it when the turnout was so low?
I don't think your numbers are quite right, but the general principle, I believe, is correct. As I understand it, the votes in favour, which were a lot to do with the number of car parks that are owned by the Borough Council, were cast by one person, and certainly I was not involved and I know nothing about it.
Okay, good, thank you very much. So, Dad, please get your verbal report now, Councillor Cross.
Thank you very much, Chair. Yeah, really following on from the point that Councillor Cochrane made with regards to DBID. It's caused a lot, and I've just come from a DBID meeting, and the residents of Scarborough, residents of Bridlington, residents of Whitby are still very much concerned about this extra 1.5% they're going to have to pay on the tax over 5 years. You know, and everybody that's got a rateable value of, you know, 12,000 or more, or will get to 12,000 or more, and you know, they're very concerned that the DBID board seems to consist of the same people that were members of Yorkshire Forward, you know what I mean, and there's a lot of unhappiness there, and I think, you know what I mean, I know we spoke at the last council meeting, but I think it's going to be one of them ongoing things where it will be reviewed and reviewed and reviewed, because there are so many people unhappy with it. The bills are going out on the 1st of August, but there is still big resentment to the fact of, you know, having to pay this money. So, you know, I would say on that, let's see what happens, and let's see what challenges. Let's find if we can see who cast a vote for the toilet on wherever it was, and who cast a vote for the car park on West Side, on wherever, because still nobody knows. And it should be properly documented when, you know, a vote is passed, that, you know, who's passed it. So, you mean, that is still being looked into.
Thank you. Has anybody got any questions? Sorry, Councillor Shackleton and then Councillor.
I believe it was all officer decisions, Councillor Cross. No, I'm not mistaken in that.
No, they're trying to get to the bottom of it.
And is it correct that Scarborough Borough Council will do the administration for DBID?
Yeah, it's correct that Scarborough administration will do the collection for ourselves, East Yorkshire, and the whole big area.
They'll also welcome your revenue that brings in.
Yeah, they're welcome your revenue, yeah. And they will be collecting at something figure, they'll collect 30,000 and spend 32,000. You know what I mean? But as I say, John, there's lots of us that are happy about it, and we're still, you know, fighting for the residents.
Councillor Cochrane?
Yeah, just following on from the DBID, there was a very clear statement made at the Borough Council last week by Councillor Collins, which basically said it's a locomotive without any brakes. And the bills are going out, and if people don't pay, they'll get sued. I'm not saying I agree with it, but that's what we were told.
Anybody else got questions for Councillor Cross? No. Okay, thank you. So now on to North Yorkshire County Council Council's report. Council has received the report from North Yorkshire County Councillor, and she's also given hard copies out some new information that's come, which I know you've all just been given this evening. If you want time to have a peruse of it and ask questions, if not, I'll put the floor open for your questions to Helen Squire. I have a question. One is on the back of what Councillor Cockrell said regarding the level crossings that's been brought forward.
I've made a note.
Marvellous.
I'll see what I can find out.
Thank you.
Multiple schemes.
And the other one, which is what you've happily given us this evening, the elderly care scheme, was a question about silver birches, which I
Yes, this came to my attention after I'd done the report.
Right.
Josh Harbon, the head of provider services, has prepared the statement for residents, relatives and staff at silver birches, and a copy of which I've distributed. Karen Kelly, the service manager for Vision Services, issued the statement last Wednesday,
in advance of the planning application, and then worked from Silver Birches on Friday so that she was available to answer queries from staff, residents and relatives. Joss is currently on annual leave, that's why Karen issued the statement. A meeting will be arranged for September to meet with residents, relatives and staff. And I do stress that this is not an official press release, it is for information. And I mean the relatives, residents and staff, they need time to consider the report and you know, we want to really hear from them first, like, you know, when they've had time to form their opinions.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Shackleton, did you have a question?
Well, yes, I did actually. The hedge on Muston Road again, Helen.
Oh, right, sorry, we've moved on.
Yeah, residents are complaining about.
The hedge on, that one on the corner?
Yes, yeah. I would imagine it's an annual event to cut that back, Helen.
Well, I thought we'd taken some of it away and...
Well, apparently it's regrown.
I thought we'd dealt with that.
Yeah.
Right, I'll ask the question then.
Councillor Hatsby?
Yeah, just the one on the footpath, Scarborough Road to the bird garden.
Yes.
I don't think it's 100% correct in that one of the bigger problems is on the extreme outskirts of Firey Parish, where the town sign is, where you have to walk on the road and skirt the town sign to get up the footpath. That field is definitely not owned by the Flower of May, which is 3 miles to the east, to the west.
So is that the town sign?
So the town boundary, where the town sign is, that is one of the worst places.
Then cut the other one.
It'll either have somebody's eye out, with the briars that are growing across, or somebody's going to get run over by having to walk into the road.
So it's nearer in than
Yes.
what was...
Yeah. The bird garden is nowhere near the Flower of May.
Right.
It's where the fire is.
So if you've served Mr Atkinson a 14-day notice, I wish you the best of luck.
Well, we're obviously not talking far enough back from the bird garden. There's been a deliberate...
Twitch, Firey boundary and
Yeah.
the bird garden, yeah.
Sorry, Councillor Gates, would you like to speak?
I was just going to say, so you Chair, I was just going to say that it's where the Fireyfield Town Development is, which John's just clarified.
Thank you. I'm going to suspend standing orders now so that Councillor Cross can speak.
Thank you, Chair. Really, one of the first things that the residents have queried is, I did mention that we would like a disabled parking bay in front of the post office. Now it's moved on John Street. You've been looking to us getting a parking bay.
I believe an application's been put in, so it's in progress. And it was rather hoped that we could maybe do it without a consultation, in that it's an exchange. But I haven't heard any more, but I'll make some inquiry and see just where we are with it. Thank you.
Yeah. And the other thing on whilst I'm on this, that I've been walking around Firey this weekend, and there seems to be, all the chairs seem to have been breathing. There's chairs all over. Breathing. There's chairs all over the footpath, tables, there's twice as seems to be. It's dangerous, you know, for people.
You mean outside of...
Very businesses, yeah. And really, you know, I think that ought to be looked into, because it's getting to silly season.
Well, as far as I'm aware, Councillor Cross, there is a situation at hand now where particular businesses with outside eating facilities are being sent letters to let them know they need a licence to be able to have food and drink served on their public highway, and there is a fine of £1,000 if they don't have the licence in order for them to do so. If that's any help to you.
Is there any particular area that is bad for this, so that we can pinpoint it rather than make just say something vague? It's general.
One particular example, you know, that somebody brought to my attention at the weekend, and he said it was all over me. All you need to do is walk about on Saturday and Sunday, and you'll see.
So it's all of it. It's nice to come pinpoint.
If we do a water bath, I think it might be the, for everything else that we do.
Well, we come back to enforcement every time, don't we?
Is that it, Councillor Cross?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, then I'll now end the adjournment so the members of the council can speak. Councillor Wilkie.
I'm not sure whether it's county or the borough that would do this one, but it's the steps down from Glen Gardens down to the bottom of St Martin's Ravine, just getting all over the road. I'm sure there'll be a period of a maintenance programme at some point, but they're just getting...
So down from?
So from in Glen Gardens at the other side of the boating way, the steps down to
I've been informed that it's borough.
It is
It would be borough, would it? I don't know.
Councillor Cockcroft.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody's walked down Church Ravine lately, but that's terrible as well. Brambles coming over onto the footpath.
That's all it
And
rambles.
I've actually got I'm waiting for a phone call back from officers and I'll take that up and see it.
Is Church Ravine Borough as well then? I get a bit confused with that.
No, the bank is a borough, and that's where it's coming from.
Councillor Shackleton.
Yeah, we used to have a very good gardener that used to trim that year in, year out. Unfortunately, it's not been done since he left his employment.
Thank you. The only thing I can say, on a very positive note, was that we had a conversation with you regarding weeds in Filey, and I do recognise that we have had council work around with this backpack on spray, and so some positive has come from a conversation that we've had, so that definitely has happened. Councillor Hargate.
I don't know whether it's the junction of Bellevue Crescent and Station Avenue.
So which crescent?
Bellevue Crescent
Yeah.
and Station Avenue. The road there's quite wide, the one which has quite busy. People have asked me, is it possible to zebra crossing on there? So there have been quite people getting across that road. I don't know actually, you know what I mean? People say that so then the county Scotland, it would be possible to sort of crossing put there.
I've got Councillor Robinson, then Councillor Cockcroft.
About hedge cutting, I feel this needs to be done earlier in the year, because birds are nesting at the moment, and I understand that you can be fined if you cut your own hedge down.
I think gardens are all right, but farmers usually, I think it's the 12th of July, that's the date I've got in my head, that you can start and cut hedges.
Is it as early as that? I thought it was September.
No, it's July. I may be wrong about the actual date.
They're certainly still nesting. I think we're having such a dry season that they're having 2 and 3 clutches, chicks.
Yeah, I will agree.
It's going to be a
the
late...
seasons of confusing nature, I think.
But if we could, I mean, this is for me as well, from my hedge,
Yes.
that I should get it done earlier in the year, so that it doesn't need doing during the breeding season, and this should be the case with public ones as well.
I've just been informed that you can't cut your hedges between March and September.
Yeah.
Before or after, but that's it. Yes, Councillor Shackleton.
I think the law actually says that you can trim them, but
Not yet,
not
too heavily.
And it's illegal to interfere with the nest either while it's being built or when it's built.
Right, thank you. Any other questions for our, yes, Councillor Cockcroft?
Just going back to Bellevue Crescent, I did do some work and I spoke to Councillor Spears about it. You know, I know this is another problem with that exit, which is also used, you know, unlawfully as an entrance. I did put forward a suggestion, but the answer coming out from county was that this had been discussed with the town council and rejected it.
We talked about it on the walkabout. What you're meaning is the island, because we're looking for a solution to stop people turning down into Bellevue Crescent. And we did talk about it on the walkabout, although I think on that scheme, the suggestion was to come out into Station Avenue.
Right.
So I do think it's worth having another word, because your idea was more across.
Yeah.
Am I putting that clearly?
At right angle, coming around Bellevue Crescent, at right angles. So the central island is extended towards Murray Street, so that the effective width of the exit is similar to the exit going the other way.
So
I've got a plan, I'll maybe put it on the agenda for next month.
yes, I was going to bring this up anyway, because the environmental budget is now open,
I think I've got two possible, this being one of them, schemes that would be highways. And if we're going to go for a scheme that involves highways, I need to get it in as soon as I can. So if councillors could put their heads together and give me a steer as to which direction we're going in, that would be appreciated.
Thank you. Councillor Wilkie.
I'm just listening to this conversation about Bellevue Crescent at the end there. Whilst I agree it's an issue, over the last few years we've got a dangerous junction at the crossroads at Murray Street, West Avenue. We've got bollards on West Avenue where you turn into Bellevue Crescent because people are going the wrong way. And it's all been rejected by county. So we're looking at this. So what are the chances of this actually getting off the ground as a real... Do you know what I mean? The whole transport...
I have this small budget that may make it possible.
I get that. But,
it's only a small budget in relation to these sort of schemes. So it would need to be priced and see if it was feasible. And we'd need obviously to talk to the highways planners or whatever they call themselves, to make sure that it will comply with all the regulations, because there are so many road regulations that have to be complied with. You can't just do as you like. And I think where you're talking about, that has always been the problem, is to get a scheme which will comply with regulations and all the distances that are required, etc.
Can I just come back to that? I mean that is a dangerous junction.
I don't disagree.
So until someone gets knocked over and possibly killed, is that when it's going to be dealt with? I know your regulations, but it's going to be the same at that scheme. It's going to be the same. It's just frustrating.
Through you, Chair, to Kevin, I think they are different. And yes, that one at Chapel Court has been going on for donkey's years. On my recollection, we've always been told, whenever we put forward suggestions, you've got to think about the wagons that are delivering to the start. I'm not accepting it, and they've got to reverse back because they can't go down. So I think that is a problem, but it's a different matter from Bellevue Crescent. Totally agree, it's ridiculous.
Have you got anything else to add, Councillor Spice, that you report?
I don't think so, unless anybody's got anything
else
that they want to bring up that's new.
I ignore the email from the staff. If you consider anything else going forward. Okay, thank you. I'd just like to bring the police in because they've arrived. I know we're going backwards, but has anybody got any questions for our police here whilst we're here? Any further reports? If not, and the lady's probably got places that she needs to be.
Yeah, my job. Thank you.
Yeah.
If there is anything that comes up, obviously, please let me know.
Thank you. So, on to number 7, which is the town clerk and RFO. Received report from the town clerk and RFO. I'll hand over to Tom.
I've got a chance to read the report and ask any questions if you've got any.
Yes, Councillor Wilkie.
Just disappointed with the dog warden project. I'm assuming that's...
It's no further forward. I had a report from the officer, Mr. Briggs, this week. They're still having huge issues on recruitment, and it's been readdressed, and it will be going out again, re-advertising in the next couple of months. It won't be soon because they're having issues over sort of HR in terms of the procedures that they've got for the employment people.
So, the recruitment issues are from within SPC, or are they just not the right people?
Effectively, the number of people that applied, the person who was given the job refused it, the second person was given the job and refused it, and then the other people who had applied were not felt to be suitable. But because they'd applied, there is a procedure which requires you to then have a cooling off period before you start re-advertising again. Thank you.
Anybody else got anything on this particular agenda for Clark's report? If not, we will move on. Right, number 8, minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on Wednesday the 12th of June 2019. You've all read the minutes. Did I have a proposal and a seconder to approve? If you're all happy? Thank you. Vote please.
Sorry, there's a mistake.
On spelling?
No, where it says minutes of committee meeting, property committee, councillor Mills, proposed, seconded by councillor Robinson at the minutes. No, wait a minute. Councillor Mills advised that an amendment needs to be made to the minutes as she had proposed councillor Robinson as chair of the committee and councillor Crawford Gage had seconded the proposal. That didn't happen.
That didn't happen?
No. The amendment was that I proposed that we did the survey and then it was seconded by somebody else.
I'm confused, That's the wrong minute, sorry, is it?
It's the wrong amendment.
It's the wrong minute, sorry.
I'm on the wrong amendment. We're on the ordinary council meeting.
Yeah, that's what I'm on. Yeah, minutes of the annual meeting held on the 12th of June.
Yeah.
And if you go down to where it says minutes of committee meeting, property committee.
So it needs correcting on the amendment of it?
Yeah, that's the wrong amendment. Do you want me just to email over what it should
Please.
be, then that'll save time.
Anybody else got any on that minute? Everybody else? Thank you for that, councillor Mills. So, council committee minutes and reports from local organisation meetings. Minutes. Staffing committee, the 12th of June 2019.
The chair, council was present.
No, she's not with the council, so it's the chair of those. Can we not move those?
It's not a...
I'm deputy, so I'm quite happy to answer any questions if, other than that, I'm correct record, Chair.
Thank you. Can I have a vote on those then, please? Thank you very much. Planning committee, do we have the chair here? Planning? Sorry, I didn't find who said that.
Yeah, fairly straightforward. Just put those forward as a true correct record of the meeting. If there's any questions.
Thank you. Can we have a vote on those, please? Thank you, that's good, thank you. Town map and guide?
Same, straightforward. The guy's moving on. Hopefully, Chancellor's doing a great job, so it's a true correct record of the meeting.
Thank you. Can I have a vote, please? Thank you all. Events and lighting committee?
Yeah, just to report that things are progressing with regards to the Yorkshire Day celebration on the 1st of August. So the events in Memorial Gardens are progressing, and sadly, well, the Mayor cannot attend finally because she's on another mayoral engagement in Whitby. I did actually ask Councillor Addington if he could actually do the speech, the opening speech, but sadly he's saying that he can't because of work commitments. So we did have a discussion as to whether I should actually undertake that task, which I've agreed to do. With regard to the Everon Centre, we're hoping to put a very good display on of heritage crafts and more modern skills and crafts. And we've got about 13 stalls now, and some old DVD footage of the Edwardian event that used to happen in Filey. So in the background we'll be playing that, and we're going to try and have some music and some choirs to come along and sing. So we hope that it'll be well supported on the 1st of August.
So can we have a proposal that they're true and correct?
They are true and correct.
Yeah. Second, thank you. A vote then, please. Thank you.
Just make a
Oh
comment.
yes, of course.
Just for new members, that the Mayor is never available on Yorkshire Day. It's not that the Mayor can't do this year, but every year all the mayors from Yorkshire meet in a different town throughout Yorkshire.
Oh, so they vary which town it is?
Yes.
Oh, right.
We did it in 2002.
I think the point that Councillor Randall was making was that the deputy mayor wasn't available either on that particular day. Is that the point you were trying to make?
Yeah.
So,
I wasn't coming to
It was a bit
one
disappointing.
Yeah,
sorry.
No, yeah, I didn't
new
thank
members
you for that.
aware.
Yeah, we weren't aware of that.
yeah, thank you. Right, council to receive reports from members of meetings of local organisations. Oh, strategic planning, sorry, I've got it picked up here, that's you, isn't it, Councillor Shepherd?
Yeah, as a minutes chair, but I'll be quite happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for the chief? No? Can we have a second and a vote then, please? Yep. Perfect, that's absolutely, thank you for that. So yes, as I say, council to receive reports from members of meetings of local organisations. Just to bring forward that Keep Family Tidy did request to have a council rep, but have since decided they no longer require one. So the council representative there is no longer needed. Anybody else in any outside reports would like to give Councillor Robinson?
Yes, Councillor Gage and I went to the museum meeting. I can't remember the date. Offhand, I could look it up. And they were short of stewards during the school period, when the schools go to the museum. And I offered to go on 2 days. And when I went there, one of the ladies told me that Richard Walker had said that I shouldn't be wearing my badge. Now I assume he means both of us.
The council badge?
Yeah. And I queried the fact, how did he know I was wearing my badge in the museum, because he wasn't there. And she said, no, not in the museum, you shouldn't be wearing it to the meeting.
Is that because you're not the council rep at the meeting?
But we are, aren't we?
Yes, so therefore you should wear your badge?
Yes.
Yes. That's when you've been given wrong information.
Yeah.
Wear your badge happily. If you're a council rep at a meeting...
And I wore it when I went to the museum to help, and they said they preferred it if I would wear it.
Yes.
So that it could be seen
that
the council were helping out.
Well, thank you for bringing that to the attention of Councillor Robinson, but I suggest wearing your badges in the appropriate manner in questions.
Do you think there's anything else? They thought that maybe the council could be more involved with the museum in some way. There was a suggestion that it was possible with the banking, but Richard Walker said that wasn't possible.
Okay. Stephen Clarkin on that, please.
Yeah, we have subsequently got involved with that, and I've offered the museum to use ourselves as a mode of banking, check-ins, etc. on a daily basis.
Oh, that's good. Thank you.
Okay, right, that's lovely. Nobody else has got any that they attend that they'd like to speak of? No? Thank you. Number 10. Do any members wish to make a comment or ask questions about the schedule of payments? No? Thank you. And can I propose a seconder? Thank you. And a seconder, Councillor Wilkie. And can we have a vote, please? Lovely. Thank you all very much. Number 11, Queen Street Gardens. I would like to propose the pre-approval of the cost of a survey of the gardens of up to 5,000 to ensure a minimum delay on this project. It has been discussed at property, and we did verify that we could do this. I'm just bringing it forward so that we can not have to delay by bringing it to another council meeting if we can spend up to 5,000. Thank you. Can we have a vote? That's that. Thank you. Number 12. Invitation to Southborough Council to attend induction events. This item was initially discussed at the previous meeting, and following information received, the Strategic Planning Committee resolved to suggest that all councillors to be invited to the event, with a proposed schedule of week commencing the 2nd of September, starting at 3 o'clock. Would anybody like to propose this to allow the clerk to finalise arrangements? The proposer? Thank you. We've got a seconder. Thank you, Linda. And a vote then, please. We voted now, but...
I know, but I'm still happy with my vote.
Okay.
Where it says attending, does that mean we'll just all go at different times to attend?
No. It'll be at a time when this is just so we can correspond with Scarborough Council to
Oh,
suggest
is
that
that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
at this time.
I can't do
all the
that.
councils invited those that wish to come to have an informal conversation. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. Number 13, replica cobble. This item was requested at the last meeting, and Councillor Cockrell has sent in quite an extensive report, which I'm sure you've all had the opportunity to read. Does anybody wish to ask any questions regarding the information that has been given to you all? No? Is that you, Councillor Hackney?
No, but I've asked questions, and I just want to make some points. Again, it's the old chestnut of this steel replica cobble before us. I would feel much better about this if Councillor Cockle's report stated that the local fishermen were very much in favour. However, those senior fishermen I have spoken to think it very much a stupid idea and a complete waste of money. I would feel better if Filey Town Council had match funded Scarborough Council, i.e. £5,000. However, we rescinded all minutes at the last meeting, so that's irrelevant at the moment. I would feel better if the cobble landing traders, who I assume will be the ones to benefit most, had contributed and match funded, rather than treat the cobble landing as their own personal car park, who decided not to put any contribution in. Even just to pay for parking the cars, they would have made quite a bit of money. I would feel better if the line Scarborough Council will be responsible for all costs, liabilities and decisions about its future use. Surely Filey Town Council should be responsible for the decisions of its future, having put 19,000, or were asking for 19,000 out of 30,000. That's 2/3 ownership. I would feel better if the plans included drafts on the cobble, which protected the propeller and formed the tunnel, a major feature of all Filey motor cobbles, allowing them to land on the sand as they did, without damaging the propeller. I would not mind so much if it were wood and not steel. As recently demonstrated, a traditional Filey cobble could have been bought on the internet, seaworthy, and I believe the price actually dropped to £5,000. So even accounting for transport costs to Filey from Sunderland, it would leave roughly £24,000 for a 10-year maintenance at those figures we've already been given. 2,500 a year, roughly. Yes, it might be our heritage. If somebody wants to see a working cobble, you go to Bridlington, Flamborough, Scarborough, Staines, Redcar, Sands End, Whitby, Robin Hood's Bay. You can actually go and see a cobble going out to sea with pots, nets, lines, not a bulk of rusting steel stood in the middle of the cobble landing. So those who are passionate about our heritage would rather see a working cobble than, well, whatever is proposed. Finally, I regret the fact that Filey Town Council were not involved with the initial plans and have not been presented with all the plans we've got tonight. All we got was one sketch of a cobble throughout all this. In these days of austerity, I cannot support this in its present form, and I would suggest many locals would prefer the money to be spent on skateboard parks, facilities for the younger person, facilities to attract the younger person, so we can attract doctors, teachers and other people to the town, and not a steel cobble that won't do one iota of good for the residents of Filey. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody's got a response to that, or are you all happy with the statement that was made? No, Councillor Gage.
I just wanted to say thank you tonight for putting that together, because it does give us a lot more information, because all I've seen previously as well was just a sketch that Councillor Haxby had specified. My own personal feelings are that I would like to see a working wooden cobble, and I know it's been looked at previously, so I can see Councillor Cockle's done a lot of work on that one, and I understand completely where Councillor Haxby's coming from, and I am at the same sort of vein. I don't personally think a steel replica is the right thing, but at the same time I do think, as Councillor Haxby was saying, you can go and see a cobble working Whitby, Robin Hood's Bay, etc. if we want one in Filey, just to, you know, we're proud of our fishing heritage and we want something in Filey to commemorate that, whether or not it's this idea, which obviously we voted to rescind the funding on that anyway, but I think it's a dialogue we need to have again at some point.
Thank you.
Yes.
Anybody else like to say anything? Councillor Cockrell.
Yeah, just to clarify a couple of comments from Councillor Haxby. if you'd have read it, I particularly mentioned that the images are only general arrangement and details such as drafts and protection of the propeller and the stern aren't included. The drawings that you've got in there have previously been supplied to the Town Council. A wooden cobble, although probably a cheaper initial option, will require ongoing maintenance for years to come. We only have to look at the money that was spent on the Margaret. There was a budget of £40,000 for that. And how, due to the lack of required maintenance, it's deteriorated to the storage state in which it is today. Alternatively, a replica fabricated in corrosion-resistant steel, initially a far more expensive option and still requiring ongoing maintenance, but far less onerous and expensive. To sum up, it appears there are now two basic choices. Forget about cobble and cobbleland, or decide to pursue a reminder of the proud fishing heritage of past generations of Filey fisherfolk in Filey. If the latter is agreed, there needs to be further discussion as to the format of such a commemoration. It might be cobble, and that raises a choice of it being in wood or steel. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else further to discuss on this, or shall we move on? Okay, thank you. 14, beach taps and showers. Councillor Mills requested this item, so therefore can I ask Councillor Mills to introduce this for discussion, please?
A couple of members of the public have approached me and asked, obviously the toilets they mentioned quite a lot, but specifically they've asked about the potential of having like taps and showers at the Cobble Landing and the Royal Parade. I know that there are taps at the Cobble Landing end at the moment, I think. But I just thought, is it something that we could ask the Borough Council for, if we could have like outside showers and taps at either end, so that when people come off the beach they can wash sand and sand's not going into the shops and things.
Well, you're quite right, it is a Scarborough Council issue, and I can instruct the clerk to ask Scarborough Council if this is something that can be installed.
Thank you.
Yes, sorry.
I think it'd be quite a unique feature for the town. Unfortunately, with it having to be potable water, chlorinated, you're going to pay water supply charges, along with sewage disposal charges, along with surface water drainage charges. You need sand traps, and I'm mindful of vandalism. It's a great idea when you go abroad, it's lovely to come off the beach and do it, but I just don't think Scarborough Council will weather it. But let's try it, It's just, where do we put them? There are 7 accesses to the beach.
I think mainly, I'm thinking either main end, but yeah, there are a lot of access points. Or if there's a set on every 7 toilets, they've got the 3 sets, haven't we, across which I suppose would solve the problem of having the water and the drainage because it's attached to the toilet.
I think it says college to even ask Scarborough Council and they would be available to discuss. Try and talk about who would like to go to their own end. Is that alright?
Yeah, thank you.
Certainly be first of your
Thank you. Number 15, this Parish Community Sports Club. The council to receive an update from Council Wilkie as to the current status of the club, please.
The update is there's no update particularly. We're still working through the community use agreements documents, templates that were sent. We're looking to hopefully finalise those in the next few weeks, but just got to look at the things that we want and what Scarborough Athletic will agree to and the borough. So once that's done, hopefully we'll give you more of an update. We're really limbo at the moment.
Alright, thank you. Is anybody got any questions? Not much more that Council Wilkie can give us, but...
There's not very much to expand on from the last meeting, Chair, to be honest.
Alright, thank you very much. Oh yes, sorry, Carl.
Just to say that we'll be on a meeting with the next week to hopefully move towards agreement to law.
Yeah. It may be that the community use agreement document isn't the right thing, and we need another type of document. We just can't, just don't know yet. So we're just going to try and get together and hopefully Scarborough can help us out.
Councillor Gage.
Are Scarborough Athletic currently using the site or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're currently using it, maintaining it, improving it, putting their own money in. Football Foundation are okay for that to carry on, as long as it's not too long, you know.
So it's just contracts that literally...
Well, it's not really a contract, it's just some sort of agreement to protect us as a council,
Yeah.
the investment,
Yeah.
protect the Football Foundation, and obviously protect the company, Falcon Sports Limited, and Sports Limited. It's got to protect everybody, hasn't it?
Yeah.
There's a will on all sides to make it work, but obviously we've all got our own criteria that we're looking at.
Councillor Robinson?
Is this, Councillor Wilkie, is this including the strip of land in front of the one that was always used as parking? And is the only area in that field that's being...
That's not part of...
That's not going to be anything to do...
No. Our land is only the football.
Yeah, but there was always an agreement with the owner of the land in front that they could use that strip of land for
I
parking.
believe so, yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Cochrane.
Yeah, on that point, that field, part of that field is going to be used for the flood alleviation.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a compound. And certainly, as I understand it, a request to Derek Megginson, the landowner, hardcore will be left there, but it's been put down for the compound, so it can be used as the car park.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's not going to be a wet area, apart from when we get a storm.
Right, thank you all very much. We'll move on. Number 16, public conveniences in Filey. This item has been requested by Councillor Cockrell with a proposal for consideration. I would just like to give a brief summary of the history of this item for the benefit of the new councillors. In order to ensure that we meet the requirements of standing orders to allow the members to debate the public conveniences in Filey, we need as a council and are required to rescind the minute of June 2018. Minute number 118-18 resolved. Council resolved not to proceed any further with regard to the devolution of public conveniences from Scarborough Borough Council. Further to this, after a 6-month period, a proposal was made in January 2019 to rescind the same minute, 118-18, and it was resolved not to do so. Therefore, to allow the discussion to take place, the stated resolution 118-18 must be rescinded or no further discussion of the toilets can take place. So therefore, I propose a motion for discussion. Do you understand what I'm saying? Sorry,
Yeah, no, that's really good. If we can't discuss the toilets until we rescind the minutes.
Yes, so if we want to discuss the toilets, we need to rescind the June 2018 for a conversation to happen about the toilets. Yes, Councillor Gage.
But are Scarborough Borough Council not looking at the toilet facilities in the southern area of the borough?
Yes, but we really can't discuss it.
We can't discuss
Then
it.
so we need to go in. If you want to discuss the
minutes.
public conveniences, we need to rescind, and then we can have a discussion. Yes, Councillor Mills.
So can I propose that
Yes,
we
certainly.
rescind the minutes so that we can talk about
Second,
it?
and can we have a vote for those that are happy to rescind? So that's everybody apart from Councillor Wilkie, Councillor Hackby and Councillor Shackleton. So that's moved then. So therefore, I would just like to also mention this to you all. After receiving the agenda item from Councillor Cockrell, the clerk requested on Wednesday the 3rd of July 2019 a written current proposal from Scarborough Borough Council regarding the public conveniences. No correspondence has been received, therefore we are unable to discuss the details as outlined in Councillor Cockrell's proposal. I therefore propose that I call an extraordinary council meeting to solely debate the public conveniences in Filey after Scarborough Borough Council has completed the second phase of the borough toilet considerations. Yes, Councillor Cockrell.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, Madam Mayor, but that will be too late. If the Borough Council, if the report goes to the Cabinet, they will decide, and it will be too late.
Too late for...
Too late for us to bother discussing it.
Councillor Wilkie, and then Councillor Haxby.
Can I just refer back to Councillor Casey's report that
Yes.
we did look at? He mentioned Mr. Edwards
Yes.
giving a date of October, I think, was it? September. We've had this before, and you know, 3 times, 2 or 3 times. So, you know.
But I'm not suggesting we haven't had it before, or I'm just
No,
suggesting...
what I'm saying is we've had ultimatums on the date before.
Absolutely. Yes. Councillor Haxby's next, then Councillor Cockburn.
I would agree with what you said, Madam Chair. This is becoming like Brexit.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going on and on and on until certain councils get the answers they want, which I don't ever believe they're going to. It's like picking a scab so it becomes a sore and then an ulcer. It's going on and on and on. A year ago we wrote to Scarborough Council saying we wanted nothing more to do with the toilets. Scarborough Council acknowledged that and never ever came back with anything else. And in the 3 years since we were threatened with imminent closure, and again it was scaremongering, it wasn't all the toilets. People got the wrong impression it was 1, perhaps 2 toilets. It wasn't them all. It was very much a scaremongering exercise. They never did. And now 3+ years down the line, we still haven't had one shut. In fact, Cabinet has said they're looking forward to keeping them open. Well, they're opening potentially the one at the top of South Cliff in Scarborough, the Italian Gardens, and putting a temporary set down on the seafront, where they demolished the set last year under the old Cabinet. Whether they'll get away with it, I don't know. There's a lot of arguments going on. But I mean, I don't mind discussing past matters where there's something fresh to discuss. But with no fresh information, no fresh evidence, today we've had nothing from the board. Let's give the new Cabinet a chance. Let them decide what they want to do and come back to us. What's the point of us paying a lot of money because, I'll go on, but I wasn't going to, but I will. Some 3 years ago we got some figures from the borough, which, as Kevin will attest, were absolute rubbish, but were the only figures we could have. We wrote time and time again, wanting clarification on football figures, electricity usage, water usage, consumable usage, and the figures we got getting back were nonsense. Anyway, I did a business case, because as Councillor Cockrell is always saying, you can't commit money without a sound business case, as he did with the Ebor Sports Centre. That never went forward because there was no sound business case. So we wrote to the borough saying we need better figures, and we never got them. So I, off my own bat, with the town clerk at the time, produced a lot of spreadsheets, and you can have a look at them if you wish, which demonstrated the fact that even using a contractor to put cash machines in and empty them, the potential cost to this council was over £50,000 a year. If we charged the maximum at the time we were discussing, which was 30p a fee. And that assumed 100% usage. Now, when we contacted a contractor to give us a price for putting the cash machines in, they work on a 40% return. I.e. families will go and put 150p in or whatever, and the whole family will go in. So all their figures, they work out on 40%. And using that figure, I mean, we could be spending over £100,000 a year using a contractor. Now, nobody ever came back with better figures. We had to make assumptions. Some figures were in the right ballpark. But if we did it ourselves, you've got cash collection, you need a vehicle, you need 2 men, 52 weeks a year, 7 days a week, so you need cover, etc., etc. So your staffing costs are up to nearly £90,000 a year. That's staffing alone. Now that takes some making back at 30p a fee. Yes, you can put it up to 50p, but who's going to use it? They're going to go behind the toilets. So we do face an awful bill for this. If a contractor was used, we'd still have to carry out major maintenance. The contractor merely looks after the cash machines, and consumables like paper and soap and that sort of thing. If you look at the Royal Parade toilets, they were shut twice last year, and I think for a week on one occasion and a few days on another, for blocked drains. Now, to clear a blocked drain isn't cheap. Drainage engineer out with a jetting machine, maybe £100 an hour, I don't know, it's very expensive.
Councillor Haxby, can I just interrupt you just for 1 second and
You
suggest
can.
that this is why I am calling for an extraordinary meeting to have this big debate for you to put forward all your ideas.
I can print this out and let you have it, Madam Chair, yes.
Thank you. I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, I will,
Yeah.
I'm quite happy to
Thank you
say
very
so.
much.
I've also got plenty more if you want to print all this out.
To have an extraordinary meeting.
Yes,
That's it.
Sorry.
Can I second your?
You can second my proposal. Yes, sorry, Councillor, Hickson then.
To
Cockle,
go
sorry.
on to your proposal, Madam Mayor, I understand that the matter will be discussed at the Borough Council Cabinet on Tuesday, the 3rd of September.
Right.
The agenda, I'm presuming, will come out maybe the 23rd. So, yes, it would fit in if you call an extraordinary meeting that last week in August. It would be the last opportunity, because then you would be able to see what the borough officers are recommending to cabinet members.
I wholly agree with you. I will come to you, Councillor Haxby. The reason why I want the extraordinary meeting is because I want us to have availability of information from the second phase so that the new councillors and old councillors can have hopefully more information to go on and go forward rather than just a verbal recommendation. Councillor Haxby.
It's not the officer's decision we want, it's the Cabinet's decision. And B, we need figures, we need a business case, we need something to look at to tell us how much it's going to cost us. At the moment we have nothing other than the figures I've produced, which everybody's quite happy to have a copy if they want one. And they can discuss it. I cleared them with the clerk, he audited them and he was quite happy with the figures.
Thank you.
And as I say, it's well over £70,000.
Councillor Wilson and Councillor Gage, and then we'll have a vote.
I'm just curious to whether Councillor Cobb would bring this forward as a member of either Town Council or Scarborough Borough Council.
By the Town Council.
It's just interesting as to why it's the same proposal we've already.
Because I checked with Sir Roots, Madam Mayor, I checked with the director last Monday, and Councillor Casey was a witness. What the offer, was the offer still there, and he says the offer is untrue.
Councillor Wilson, the reason why I'm sorry, may I just say this, the reason why I'm keen for the extraordinary is because I am not happy for this council to make a decision on verbal recommendation. We need something written, because it's too big, and it's too much of a motive issue for this council not giving the due diligence that it needs.
Absolutely.
Councillor Gage.
I was just going to echo what you just said there now.
Thank you.
It's written, it's not been written, it's just a verbal. And secondly, this new leader seems to have a completely different outlook on toilets, the fact that they're opening them, so this may not even be an issue, they may not want 5% handle to it, so again, the proposal.
I'm sorry, I think, Councillor, do you want to say something before
Yes,
we
I'll come back there. Yeah, the figures that Councillor Haxby's informed you all of that were grossly out of date. The asbestos report was in 1999 for one of the toilet blocks. It's been one, not since. The electricity reports were a shambles. The water reports were the same. I'm against having a meeting, to be honest, because we're just going down the same old road. I don't think the figures will have changed, and I think there'll be a burden to this council's finances.
Thank you for your work after that.
I'm not for today.
Thank you. So I'm going to go ahead with this proposal now, unless you feel you need to say something else.
I just wanted to say that after hearing from Councillor Haxby, I didn't obviously thank you for putting all that together. It does seem like it's going to cost a lot of money, and I don't think we're going to be able to afford it.
Which is why we need to have the discussion going forward. So if I may, propose that I call an extraordinary council meeting to solely debate the public conveniences in Filey after Scarborough Borough Council has completed the second phase of the borough toilet consideration. Can I have a second?
Sorry.
Madam Chairman, can I just come back?
Yes, certainly.
We can't make any decisions until the Cabinet have decided what they want to do. We can't say after officers have recommended
Oh, I understand,
Whatever.
absolutely.
What's the point of having a meeting until after cabinet?
After cabinet, I'll
Because
say that.
once officers have recommended, we can say, yeah, we'll take them all on,
Yeah.
and cabinet says,
No.
and it's going to end up like this silly cobble money. As soon as the council says, yes, we'll pay 19 grand, nobody else wants to put any money in.
Right, I'll take that.
You've got all your money, if
Yeah.
we look after the toilets, the borough will say, get on with it.
Right, well, we'll change that to the right recommendation that you just said. Yes, councillor?
For me, I think that would be a serious mistake. As I said before, if you wait until after the cabinet decision, that is a decision taken by the cabinet, and it would be a waste of time having a meeting at all.
Right, do you want to have a vote on this then, please? Yes, councillor Shackleton.
Just a quick word, we've already heard from Councillor Wilkie about deadlines.
Yeah,
You know, they've never happened in the past,
yeah.
and I don't think they're happening this time, because I'm sure that Scarborough Borough Council would welcome Fowler Town Council taking over toilets. So I don't think they'll do anything to jeopardise that.
So we're changing my proposal to when the, did you want to speak again?
Yeah, I would say I would agree after cabinet's made
Yes,
a decision.
that's what I'm
We should
sure.
show our hand first.
I'll make that amendment, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Right, so that's the amendment on, the amendment from councillor Haxby is to have an extraordinary meeting after the cabinet. Am I right there, councillor Haxby? Are you
Yes.
happy with that?
Yes, Madam Chair.
So that's the amendment.
That's the amendment which we will vote on first, which is fine because it's just the correct wording. Are you putting, I'll put that forward, Sam Collins extraordinary meeting on your amendment.
Thank you.
Basically, just adding the words following the cabinet decision.
Right, so this is, I will second it. Right, so I propose that I call an extraordinary council meeting to thoroughly debate the public conveniences in Filey after Scarborough Council has completed following the cabinet decision. Okay? Right, can I have a second for that, please? Councillor Robinson, then can we have a vote? So apart from Councillor Cockrell and...
This is on the amendment.
This is on the amendment.
I'll vote on the amendment.
Yeah. So that's everybody apart from Councillor Cockrell. So that's the amendment rule will be the initial one, which is fine because it's the right way to go. Okay. 17, sports facility funding. And the item has been raised by Councillor Mills.
I think, Madam Mayor, you covered it earlier when you said that you've already arranged a meeting with
Yes.
Scarborough and Ebor, so I think I'll just leave it until after that's happened.
Thank you. Final celebrations number 18. I think we sort of touched on this a bit with your report earlier on. Is there anything else that you might like to add?
Yes, we'd like to propose an event next year to celebrate VE and VJ Day, and actually have it like a big family celebration where we have maybe a picnic in the park, maybe in Glen Gardens, with some old-fashioned sort of, we're not saying fairground rides now because that's going to be very costly, but old-fashioned sort of games, you know, egg and spoon and...
Fish catch.
Maybe we can bring Councillor Gage into this because she's going to take a consultant role onto the lighting event with this particular event, hopefully.
Yeah, well, just to echo what Councillor Randall was saying, I've spoken to Filey Childcare who have been involved. It's a community kind of event, and brownies and guys would like to get involved as well, make it as family friendly as possible, look at somebody still the band, booking them to play in the bandstand, yeah, that's right, and some other things like that. So Filey Childcare said they'll get involved and use some of their pots and things for the kids and games and that. Make a play tent, they can put in touch with Dave Cages. It would be a community thing, but we're hoping that the council can pledge some money towards it. Maybe as a backup we can book the Agron Centre in case bad weather. I'll stop talking now because people
I just wanted to say thank you. I think it's a very good idea. A lot of people have asked, a lot of people commented that we didn't do anything for the VE Day this year, and also all schools will be off next year on actual VE Day. It's going to be a bank holiday, and I think it's a perfect opportunity to celebrate that.
8th of May today.
Yeah.
8th of May. Friday.
Councillor Shackleton?
Yeah, we usually do have something in the budget for particular events regarding anything to do with the armed forces. I believe we have a community budget.
Yeah.
We have £500 in a community budget.
Top of my head, I'm not aware of it, but it may be there.
Well, that goes over here to you.
Yeah, I'm certain that we can move whatever it is into a revenue situation to be able to be used for that as part of the budget.
Right, I'll just suspend standing order. Am I doing standing order number 3 so that Councillor Frost can come up?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Really just to follow on, as you're probably aware, and most of you will be, that we do have plenty of games of the Lions that you can actually have, putting on shies, ring a peg, and all that. That's all that we do for many years.
Thank you.
I'd also like to ask to Councillor Shackleton, and it's nice to know that when it comes to things to do with our services, that this council, you know, on the budget, hopefully we can find something to do something with this, and I'm sure that the group will endeavour to get a budget together for what might be needed now, development discussions.
I'm sure the British Legion would like to be involved in some aspect of it as well.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you.
Yes, we like to involve everybody in the community, you know, all ages. And obviously, even visitors on the day, if we're having a picnic in the park and they haven't brought anything, maybe we can get donations of food to put out on a table so everybody can take part.
Yeah.
And we dress up as well.
Any other questions for Councillor Andrew? No? That's successful. Thank you very much for that. 20, ward boundaries. This item was requested by Councillor Costello. Footpath, sorry, especially on twice, Councillor Costello, number 19, weeds between footpath and buildings. Yes, so you put this on, so therefore, can I please introduce this for discussion, please?
Right, yeah, Madam Mayor, I'm sure many colleagues will have noticed the footpath weeds that seem to be more prevalent this year than in some others. And I'm not referring to those at the curbside, although those are bad enough. I'm referring to those at the other edge of the footpath adjacent to the boundary walls of private properties. I've clarified the matter with County Council, who states that the weeds will be treated as they are in the highway. The property owner is not responsible for clearing the weeds, but if they are willing, we would encourage them to do so. Could I ask the clerk if the weed spraying covers both edges of the public footpath?
Yes, it does. It basically covers to spray wherever there's weeds.
Well, I must say that in my experience, it hasn't been covering both edges of the footpath. Considering they go around on a quad bike very fast, I don't see how they're going to get up on the footpath spraying that. And certainly the evidence is there that it doesn't happen. And I just wonder what, you know, if anything we can do about it. Whether it's something you could take on council's ways.
Can I begin Councillor Wilson first, please, then Councillor Hackney?
I think it's a bit hit and miss because up Grange Avenue they have dead up the side of the wall, but also 6 inches of the grass verge is there as well. But what we're left with, certainly at Grange Avenue, and I've seen in other places where it hasn't been. But what we're left with now is just the same coverage, but they're just brown and dead. So,
and they're just a breeding ground for more.
They're not going to get shifted as they are. They're being spread in the dead, but they're just there. So they're just still that high, but they're just dead. And it can't be much fun for anybody living up the street. Certainly some streets that I've gone around in Ireland, certainly that estate are in a really poor state. Just looks scruffy, the grass is uncut, they've not trimmed around the lamp posts, it's just getting to be a mess.
Councillor Hackney?
Yeah, Mike's quite right. I mean, I saw him the other day, he was coming over the level crossing on his combine, doing the curbs in front of Silver Birches around that way. And the speed he goes, you know, I'm quite certain there's no way he can A, spray effectively, and B, know where the hell he is spraying, because you're like, oh, so he can't be looking at where he's spraying and driving this thing down the road. You know, the old days, he used to have knapsack sprayers. And they used to go around with a knapsack where you guaranteed to cover everything. You know, and you're right, some areas are dead, because I know today. And some it's just growing like a wilderness. It'd be nice to know what streets he is contracted to.
Well, maybe that's something that we could I'll just take Councillor Robinson and we'll ask the clerk to maybe give some information.
How long have you been using a quad bike? I mean, where I live, he walks. He walks where I am, West Road, and he sprays.
Well, the biggest wheels, isn't there?
You are on film, Councillor Haskell.
It was a joke.
As I say, he does, yeah, it hasn't been done this year, but he does, or has done in the past, walked. Maybe it's a different man does it.
But to be fair at West Road, with the cars parked as they are,
True.
you can't take a quad bike up there.
No, well, I don't know, most cars are.
They're half on and half off the pavement.
Yeah, well, I drive like that all the time. No, he does. As I say, he's not been up this year, and maybe he will start coming up with his quad bike, but I've not seen it.
Have you finished, Councillor Robinson? Councillor
Yeah, having
Target?
said that, all about the weed spray. A lot of the grasses are growing over the actual curved edges down the pavement edge, so it wants actually physically cutting back and getting rid of, not just spraying. So that's something that needs looking at.
Is this something we can write to the Salaborough Council to get clarification of the use of the quad bike for spraying, to make sure that it isn't Yeah, so we should therefore have the right to ask the question.
Yes, we'll certainly ask the question and clarify the specifications as to what and how they're doing. The one thing that I would ask from North Yorkshire is that I think one of the issues this year is that the spraying actually was considerably delayed than it has been in previous years, therefore the weeds are considerably bigger than they would have been. So if we can just take heed of that and make sure that the purchase orders, etc., are sent out early on.
But I think the problem this year was there was some change in the procedure, and that's why
That's
the
it, exactly,
authorisation, you needed the authorisation, and there's a bit of delay.
If we just take that into consideration and we get back to normal, it will help. I will certainly.
And we'll write a letter.
Yeah.
I've just got Councillor Cockle first, then you Councillor Chesterton.
Yeah, I think by all means write to the Borough Council, because they do the actual spraying. But I think they also write to the County Council, and obviously copy the Council please, expressing concern about the poor use of public money.
Yes, we can do that, thank you for that. I'll make sure the clerk's got that on board.
I would hope there wouldn't be a delay next year, because, you know, it should be all in place now.
Councillor Shepherd,
Yeah, I'd just
Councillor
like
Hackett.
to say, Madam Chair, these weeds need spraying on first growth. It's no good spraying weeds once it sets seed. Because seeds will just go into the ground and we'll just have another weed next year.
Councillor Hackett?
Yeah, we've got an expert gardener in Finley that does all this sort of thing. Would it be possible for the county to contract to our
Don't think the county does the contracting, it just provides a contribution.
Right.
And that you yourself commission the work to be done.
If our own gardener did it.
Is that right, David? Do we commission the work to do?
There's a purchase order sent to us. We then contract that out to Scarborough Borough, who do the work. We then pay it out to Scarborough Borough and North Yorkshire pay us.
So that's something we could look into at the council then too?
We could look to see who else could do it in terms of the gardener. This is the first year I understand it's been an issue, and that may well be due to the fact of the delay rather than anything else.
I mean, we do have a gardener on contract for a bomber. And there's a possibility that the bomber might
Bomber?
Wilson.
Paul?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Has anybody got any other questions about number 19, because we shall move on to number 20?
Just one quick thing. Councillor Parker mentioned about the edging of the grass. We've got the community payback used to help sometimes with that, so I'm sure, and that was quite good, wasn't it? I don't think they're helping out anymore, don't they? I've never seen them in the town for a real
Right, okay, so we're all done with the weeds, and we've got the clerk then to write to the appropriate people and about the quad bike and also about the usage of our own that we'll contract out to Bomber. And number 20 then, please, ward boundary changes. Sorry, I did bring this up a bit earlier, but to you, Councillor Cockrell.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, I think it was in 1999 when ward boundaries changed, and that's when Primrose Valley, Humberby got split off, certainly Borough ward. And I think following on from that was when Primrose Valley had its own representative on the town council. So we have 12 for Filey town and one for Primrose Valley and Humberby Gap, which personally I think is ridiculous. And I'd just like to gauge people's opinion. You know, there's nothing to stop us writing and saying why can't we have 13 or I'll call it the greater Filey.
Councillor Shackleton.
I seem to remember this has been brought up before by Councillor Cockrell and it was thrown out.
It has been
That was
mentioned.
disagreed with.
It has been mentioned before, but if you remember, that was before the Borough Council wards changed, and really it's on the back of that I'm bringing it forward.
Councillor Hackney.
Yeah, I think it was also muted that we warded the towns north and south of the crossing. And all these silly things which was thrown out. And it was decided we all work for the same people. If councillors want to affiliate themselves with a particular area, and you've done a great job with Primrose Valley, you know, then there's nothing to stop that happening. But whether you give it an official title, and I don't know.
Okay, Shackleton, Councillor, and then Councillor Wilkes, please.
I think before this council can make a decision on this, Madam Chair, we need to speak with the residents of Primrose Valley and see if they're happy having a fire representative.
I was just about to say more or less the same thing, because they will feel, abandoned, but they've got their own council that's looking out for them specifically, but I think they would feel differently.
Sorry, Councillor, you finished? Yeah. Thank you. Councillor Robinson.
Not that I want to put you out of a job, Madam Chair, but I wonder why we don't have Humberby and Muston written.
Muston have got their own.
Yeah, they've got their own.
Well, they're not in Farley Parish.
Yeah.
Right.
Has anybody anything else they'd like to say on Councillor Cockrell? Information regarding ward boundaries changes? Would you like to propose anything, or are you just an information of this
I'm
one?
wasting my time.
Thank you for that then.